So today I'm going to talk to you about my ultimate daily routine. So, first thing, I've got to give credit where it's due. Craig Ballantyne, who, if you're not following him, you need to, has helped completely transform the way that I look at my mornings and my daily routines. So, you're going to find that there's some correlations in some of the stuff that Craig teaches and what I've implemented in my life. See if any of this might help you. All right. So, again, when it comes to scheduling, comes to productivity, look at it like a buffet, right? You're going to have the veggies, you're going to have the salads, you're going to have the chicken, the fish, the beef, and you get to decide what it is that you want to eat. What is it you're going to experiment with that day? And you want to try things and see if they work for you. If they don't work, figure out why it doesn't work and then make adjustments. All right. So again, just because I do it this way doesn't mean you have to do it this way. These are just some ideas for you. So first things first, my work day begins the prior day. So I always like to repeat to my clients, anybody that I'm coaching, tomorrow starts today. In other words, when the day is wrapping up, you identify the next day's most important task. Now, when it comes to the most important task, I'm going to encourage you to make the next day's most important task something that's important to you and your business. See, I have found that many of us that are entrepreneurs, maybe we could be coaches, we could be consultants. What we often do is we put our clients ahead of our needs. And it's not a bad thing to be service minded and want to take care of other people. However, I want you to think about this, okay? If you do not take care of the health of your business, you're not going to be sustainable in the trajectory that you're going if you're constantly putting people ahead of you. So you have to kind of focus on yourself first, because when you focus on yourself, you're ensuring financial success for yourself, but also it makes you better for everybody that you serve. Okay, the analogy I use, right? If you've ever flown on an airplane, what if flight attendants tell you, in the event the cabin pressure drops, put your own mask on before helping others with theirs, right? You can't help your children with their oxygen masks if you're passed out due to the lack of oxygen, right? So your business is the same way. I want you to focus on your business first, okay? So previous day, you identify your MIT, your most important task. What I do is I send myself an email, right? So literally we'll send myself an email from g@galel.com to g@galel.com, subject line MIT, and then I put the next day's date. And I identify and I write to myself what it is I have to do. So maybe it's a course that I'm working on, and maybe there's a certain module that I have to make sure that I write and record, to meet a certain deadline. That would be my most important task. And then I'll email myself any additional other items that I think are important for me to keep in mind for the next day. So then I send that off. Now, the next day, I'll wake up. I go to my kitchen, I drink water. Why do I drink water first off? Because you got to rehydrate, right? You've been sleeping for 7-8 hours, got to rehydrate. Make my coffee with our beautiful Nespresso machine. Once that's done, I take it, come into my office. Down here in my home office is where I'm filming this right now. And I get to work on my MIT. So if my MIT is writing an email to my client list, that's what I'm going to work on. Now, something that's very important when you are working on tasks is I'm a big believer in shortening time frames. So if my coaching clients know this very well, they'll ask me a question, say, okay, or they'll say, Galel, I want to do something. I'll say, great. When can you get that to me by? And let's say it's Monday, right? They say, well, give me 2 weeks. I'll work on it and I'll get it to you by next Friday. And then I'll challenge them. I say, well, how about getting it to me by this Friday? And people get scared, right? And they're like, oh gosh, I have less time to work on something. And I'll tell you, the shorter time that you allow yourself to get things done, just the more efficient and productive you're going to be. So what I will do is I've got this little timer that I set for a certain amount of time for certain tasks. So for me, if it's writing an email to my list, I can get into this mode where I try to make everything just way too perfect. The fact is, You just got to write it, edit it, and send it out. And so I give myself 20 minutes on this timer. I set it to 20 minutes, I tap it, and then I get to writing. And what I've found is as I've forced myself to to work less time on certain tasks, I end up cranking out more things and it ends up being really great quality. And so I do this for an hour to an hour and a half. I give myself this work block that we call magic time. Okay. And I'm stealing that phrase from Craig Ballantyne. I use my magic time for about an hour to an hour and a half. After that work block, where I've now advanced my own business by working on my most important task, I will then begin a block of sales, client consult calls, or coaching calls. After that work block, I go to lunch and I have lunch and I have pre-made meals that are inside my garage freezer from Flex Pro Fit. Now, these are macro-based meals, right? Based on my macros, what I know, like based on my plan that I'm on from my trainer. And it just reduces decision fatigue. It takes away the notion that I have to, oh gosh, what am I going to have for lunch? I don't have to worry about it. It's already frozen. It's already in the freezer. And I just go in there, grab it, toss it in the microwave. And 4 minutes later, I have a hot, great, nutritious meal for me to be able to have and keep myself refueled and off and going. I eliminates bad decisions, ordering in food from Chick-fil-A or anywhere else like I used to do. Now that I have this system in place, it takes away the ability for me to make those bad decisions. So then, I don't know if this applies for any of you, but after lunch, I'm a little sluggish. I'm not like firing on all cylinders quite yet after lunch. So after my lunch break, I make sure that I have that time for writing, responding to emails. And what I like during that time is that responding to emails doesn't require my entire focus and energy, like recording a video. Like this requires a lot of energy for me to be able to show up for you. Emails, I don't have to do that. And so I'll answer emails during that time period. Next, I will leave my office, my home office, and I'll drive to my outside office. So I rent an office just a couple miles away that I use for client meetings as another recording studio. And so I'll go there for a late afternoon work block. That can be content creation, writing, client deliverables, or maybe even more coaching calls. It just gets me out of my house. It gives my kids some space to be able to be kids and be loud, especially in the summertime when they're home from school. And so, they're home from school all day long. We homeschool our kids. And so they're around usually, they know to be quiet, while daddy's in his office working. It just kind of gives them a little bit more leeway and more free space. So I'll go to my outside office, get some work done. Then I come back home and lift weights in my garage gym. But if you can just get a bench, like an adjustable bench and some adjustable dumbbells where the weights can be changed as far as how heavy they are, that is enough for you to go ahead and just get started with your fitness journey. So I'd encourage you to do something like that. Now, a couple times a year, I'm officiating sports, right? So in the springtime, it's baseball. In the fall, it's football. And so after that weightlifting time, I shower, I get ready. And so it's oftentimes time for me to go officiate a game. If it's like a Tuesday or a Friday, I'm out, umpiring a baseball game. Friday night, we got Friday night lights. I'm out of here going to the stadium to go officiate a football game. Now, the days that I'm not officiating football ends pretty late. I will come home, we'll have dinner, family time, hang out with my wife, Emily, and then I will do a little bit of writing and journaling and maybe a brain dump before bed just to kind of wind down. But the key non-negotiables as part of a daily routine, I think, are number one, making sure that you have magic time set up for yourself in the morning. I really, really believe that the morning is important for you to get ahead with your business, okay? Number two, making sure that you reduce decision fatigue by blocking off lunch and you know what you're gonna eat. I think that's a big, big, big one that's helped me a ton. And number three is don't wrap up your day without first identifying the next day's most important task. So those are my three non-negotiables for an ultimate daily routine. I would love to hear where you disagree. Do you agree? What does your daily routine look like? I'd love to hear it in the comments, so leave those below. Lastly, make sure if you like this content and you want to get some additional coaching from me direct to your inbox, that you go to galel.com. That's GALEL.com. Get on my email list and I will send you coaching direct to your inbox. And in there, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about mindset, we talk about marketing, we talk about all kinds of fun stuff there with my subscribers. So, really excited to get to talk with you some more. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week.